So today we've been making a bit of an effort to clean up the house a little bit. I'm trying to take a few things to Goodwill that I don't use anymore, that I will never end up fixing or anything like that. Um, as you know, the room is sort of full of junk. There's a lot of just older cameras. Um, there's a few things that I want to keep. There's an old Minolta up there that's pretty good. I've never made a video on it. I want to keep these SX70s. They're in good shape. There's one old rangefinder camera, bellows style rangefinder camera that I want to keep. And of course the Polaroid Vision camera that I made a video on a long time ago. So a few things I want to keep because they're kind of cooler, but a lot of stuff is going to Goodwill for good reason. There's a lot of junk that I need to just take care of. Older rangefinder that I'll also be getting rid of because the bellows are cracked. It's probably more destined for the garbage than for Goodwill because I don't know if anyone will ever buy that or would be bothered to try to repair that. It's an old Kodak. But here's the radio that I've got in question that I'd like to make a video on. It's an old. Oh, this is the back end. Hold on, I'll show you the back end a little bit. It's an old Silvertone radio. I don't know if Silvertone is some sort of like Sears and Roebuck like house brand or something similar to that. But as you can see, it's sort of an older radio. I can't tell what material this is made out of. I think this is metal of some sort, and with a older plastic, maybe not Bakelite, but sort of an early plastic shell. You can see it's cracking there a little bit. It's generally sort of got that patina on it that a lot of these older devices get that have had a long and well-loved life, you could say. There's a volume knob there, a plunger, which I imagine is power, and a little tuning thing. Looks like this is FM, or excuse me, AM only, which would be appropriate for the time, I guess. As you can see, the leather's sort of falling apart. There's a little metal strip in there that's sure to give something a nice cut. And one thing that's kind of cool is that if you hold this up to the light, you can see that the antenna is actually in the lid of the speaker there, or excuse me, in the lid of the embedded in the lid is what I meant to say. I'm sorry, I've been trying to make this video a few times. I've been interrupted. You can actually see the little cables that go into it. They look like springs at first glance, but they're actually little see-through cables. So let me show you the back of it. If I do end up getting rid of this, which I think is likely, I don't really plan on restoring it. I don't think I have. I think I have the ability. I just don't really have the patience or the desire to. But you can sort of see the inside of this a little bit. So there's of course a really good diagram. So let's see. Hey, oh, it is actually Sears and Roebuck. Or Sears Roebuck. That's amazing. That was a good guess, actually. I guess I just recognized the Silvertone name. It's been a while since I've looked through this sort of stuff. But you've got a basic diagram of what tubes you can replace, what batteries need to go where. So with these guys, there's two types of batteries that you need to install this guy. Looks like you need 4 AA or 4A batteries, which are of course still used, and then one B battery, which hasn't been made for a long time. It's sort of an interesting thing. You'd think of A and C cell batteries, and then D, of course, and maybe was there E at some point? I don't know. You think of A, C, and D, but you never think of B batteries. And I don't know if this was well, it looks like it was a standard because this is never ready. So this is an actual original battery from the thing, if you believe it. I'm sure a lot of folks know about these things, but this was new to me when I was looking at it. This is a 47-volt battery. I believe that was the number, at least. Let me see if I can get this off with one hand. Negative terminal. Get off. Let me put this down for a moment. Sorry about the bad camera work. Oh, jeez. Maybe that just won't come off. Quickly glancing around to see if there's anything to pry it off with. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Everready Minimax trademark B battery. I haven't made any effort to. Oh, I guess there you go. 71449. So you can get an idea of how old this radio is. It's one of those things that, you know, over 65 plus years old, it's just like, oh God, can I really feel okay about throwing this away? It's a very cool piece of history. 67.5 volts. Pardon me, not 47. The new and radically different construction used in this portable radio battery makes it last much longer than any other battery of equal size. I love the look of this thing. It's so old school. Very, very nice. I think that I actually did do a little bit of research into this, and people have been making these. I don't remember what they used. If they did a lot of 9 volts or something inside here, but there are projects where people try to make these batteries again, or make replacements. But you'll notice this also does have a very crunchy looking wall socket on there. This would not be a good idea to try to plug in. That would be a very exciting UXW Bill smoke test if that was to be tested out. But you can see how nasty that is. That looks to be actual Bakelite if I'm not very much mistaken. You can see that's just falling apart. So that would not be a good idea. This would need to be replaced. The guy who I think gave this to me, I believe this belonged to his mother and he gave it to me. I could be completely wrong on that. I don't really remember. I remember seeing like, oh, this is kind of cool. This would be nice to hang up somewhere or put up on a shelf, but I ended up never touching it and working on it. But, you know, about that guy, he's done refurbishes on really old lamps, like lamps from the 1940s, and he rebraids his own cables and stuff like that. So you can see this rubber is just completely shot. If I was to bend that, it would just crack, and see right there. So that's completely gone. But it might make a cool historical piece or, you know, a nice project for somebody. So I'm not 100% sold that I want to get rid of this thing. It is very, very cool. So you could run it off the wall if you like, and there's a little slot there where that wire is completely shredded up. Hopefully nobody tried to plug this thing in. Dear God, that'd be terrifying. So you can pause the video if you want to look closer at this document and their special instructions. But yeah, it's a very, I love the inside of these things. You know, I'm not too sure that I'd ever get around to fixing it or making it work again, even off of just AC power, but it's a very nice looking thing. In fact, making this video is making me feel that it's going to be harder to get rid of this thing and send it to Goodwill. Maybe eBay or something like that. But it would be a really good prop, you know, in a play. But anyway, there you have it. Silvertone portable battery radio.